What if the flight map you think you know is already obsolete? What if, in the last 30 days, dozens of new non-stop routes have appeared, connecting American cities in ways you never thought possible, and opening up international destinations without that dreaded layover? We're not talking about minor tweaks. We're talking about a fundamental redrawing of how we travel. Imagine flying from a quiet town in coastal Florida straight to Los Angeles, non-stop, or from Raleigh-Durham directly to the heart of Paris. These aren't fantasy routes. These are happening right now. And for you, this means more options, less travel time, and most importantly, lower prices, because new routes bring new competition. This is your guide to the secret travel network that's emerging right under our noses. Before we dive into the specific airlines and airports that are about to become your new best friends, a quick but important note. The world of aviation is constantly in motion. The routes, schedules, and fare estimates we discuss in this video are based on the latest information available at the time of this recording and are, of course, subject to change. This presentation is for informational and entertainment purposes, so always double-check with the airlines and airports directly before you lock in those travel plans. Alright, let's get into it. For years, the story of American air travel has been one of consolidation. Big airlines got bigger, hubs got more crowded, and if you didn't live in a major city, you were stuck with expensive, one-stop flights to almost everywhere. But that story is being aggressively rewritten, and the lead author is a disruptive airline you absolutely need to have on your radar: Breeze Airways. Their entire strategy is to fly where the big guys won't. They connect mid-sized cities that have been historically ignored, creating a web of non-stop routes that is a game-changer for millions of people. Let's look at what they've just unleashed. For anyone living near Portland, Maine, your travel world just expanded. Breeze has just launched non-stop service to both Orlando and Tampa. Think about that. No more waking up at 3 a.m. to drive to Boston's Logan Airport. No more paying for airport parking and dealing with big city traffic. You can now fly directly from your local airport to the heart of Florida. This is a massive quality of life upgrade. But they didn't stop there. They also added a brand new, coast-to-coast route from Portland directly to San Diego. This is the kind of point-to-point service that was unthinkable a few years ago, and it's happening all over the country. Take Charleston, South Carolina. A beautiful city, but getting to the West Coast has always been a chore, usually involving a connection in Atlanta or Charlotte. Not anymore. Breeze just flipped the switch on non-stop flights from Charleston to Los Angeles and San Francisco. This is huge. It instantly makes Charleston a more attractive destination for West Coast tourists and a much more convenient home base for its residents. They also added a new route from Charleston to Phoenix, another major hub that was previously a one-stop journey. This isn't just about convenience, it's about economics. When a new airline enters a market with a non-stop route, the legacy carriers who used to have a monopoly on that one-stop traffic are forced to compete on price. Even if you don't fly Breeze, their presence in your city will likely drive down the fares on American, Delta, and United. They are the rising tide that lifts all boats for the consumer. Just look at their recent additions from Orlando, which is becoming a massive base for them. They've added non-stop service to places like Burlington, Vermont, Madison, Wisconsin, and Syracuse, New York. These are routes that directly connect families, college students, and vacationers who were previously underserved. But the low-cost carriers aren't the only ones making waves. The legacy airlines are also making some incredibly strategic and exciting moves, especially on the international front. Let's talk about United Airlines. They are playing a global game of chess, and their latest move is a masterstroke. They just launched the first ever and only non-stop flight from the United States directly to Faro, Portugal. For anyone who's been eyeing a trip to the stunning Algarve region with its golden cliffs and incredible beaches, you know what a big deal this is. Previously, you had to fly into Lisbon and then face a 3-hour train ride or drive. United just erased that entire leg of the journey. Flying from their hub in Newark, they have single-handedly made one of Europe's hottest destinations exponentially more accessible for every single American. This one flight will reshape tourism in southern Portugal. And they're not done. United is also planting its flag in new territory with a flight from Newark to Marrakesh, Morocco. This will be the only direct flight to the iconic Red City offered by any U.S. carrier. It's a bold move that opens up North Africa in a way we haven't seen before, catering to the growing demand for more experiential, culturally rich travel. At the same time, they're doubling down on popular destinations. They've added a second daily flight from Newark to Athens, Greece, and another from Chicago to Athens, recognizing that demand for Greece is absolutely insatiable. For travelers, this means more seats available, which can lead to more competitive pricing, even during the peak summer season. Now let's shift our focus to Delta Airlines, which is making a massive push to turn New York's JFK into an even more powerful transatlantic gateway. They just brought back their non-stop service from JFK to Shannon, Ireland. This is fantastic news for anyone looking to explore the rugged beauty of Ireland's wild Atlantic way, as Shannon is the perfect starting point. They also fired up a new seasonal route from JFK to Naples, Italy. While Rome is fantastic, Naples is the gateway to the Amalfi Coast, Pompeii, and some of the best pizza on planet Earth. This direct flight saves you the hassle of connecting in Rome and taking a high-speed train down. It's a direct injection of vacation time, and in a nod to the enduring magic of Germany's Bavarian region, Delta also launched a new flight from JFK to Munich, just in time for travelers planning trips to see the Alps or attend Oktoberfest. Of course, new routes are only half the story. It doesn't matter if you have a great flight if the airport experience on either end is a total nightmare. For decades, let's be honest, American airports have lagged behind their global counterparts. But a quiet revolution is underway. Billions upon billions of dollars are being poured into transforming our airports from stressful cattle calls into modern, efficient, and even enjoyable spaces. The poster child for this transformation has been New York's LaGuardia, which went from a national punchline to winning awards for the world's best new airport terminal. Now, that same transformative energy is being unleashed on its bigger brother, JFK. The construction of the new Terminal 6 is a monumental project that will completely change the game for anyone flying JetBlue, which will be the primary tenant, as well as a handful of European carriers like Lufthansa and Swiss. We're talking about a terminal designed from the ground up for the modern traveler. Think automated bag drops, biometric security screening that speeds you through the line, and gate areas with more charging ports than you could ever possibly need. But more than that, they're focusing on the experience. Instead of a sad, generic food court, they're bringing in curated local New York food vendors. They're building bright, airy spaces with high ceilings and tons of natural light. The goal is to reduce travel day stress before you even step on the plane. And this isn't just a New York story. Across the country at Salt Lake City International, the second phase of their massive $4 billion rebuild is opening. This includes a new concourse for Delta, which means less time spent walking through those long tunnels and more gates, which reduces tarmac delays. In Chicago, O'Hare is in the midst of its own $8.5 billion expansion, the biggest in the airport's history, which will eventually culminate in a new, state-of-the-art global terminal. These aren't just cosmetic upgrades. They are fundamental redesigns aimed at increasing efficiency, reducing delays, and making the entire process of flying more pleasant. So we have low-cost carriers creating entirely new travel arteries between mid-sized cities. We have legacy carriers launching ambitious, continent-spanning routes to unique destinations. And we have our airports themselves being reborn into modern marvels of efficiency. The entire landscape of U.S. travel is shifting right now, creating opportunities that simply didn't exist even 6 months ago. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. We've covered the American carriers, but there's a whole other wave of change coming from overseas. International airlines are launching their own new routes into the U.S., targeting unexpected cities and bringing with them a new level of competition and service that could slash the price of your next trip to Asia, the Middle East, and beyond. Let's start with the giants of the sky, the Middle Eastern carriers, who are playing a high-stakes game of chess on the global aviation map, and their next move is right into America's heartland. Take Qatar Airways. For years, their iconic Oryx logo was a familiar sight at mega-hubs like New York's JFK and Los Angeles' LAX. But now they're looking past the coasts. They've added routes to Seattle, a strategic move to capture not just the massive tech industry traffic, but also to serve as a convenient gateway for passengers from the entire Pacific Northwest. This isn't just about adding a dot on a map. This is a direct challenge. When a carrier like Qatar, with its award-winning Swipe business class and reputation for impeccable service, lands a state-of-the-art Airbus A350 in a city like Seattle, it sends a shockwave through the market. Suddenly, the legacy U.S. carriers and their European partners can't just rely on their old, established routes through London, Frankfurt, or Amsterdam to get you to India or Africa. They now have to compete with a world-class, one-stop option through Doha that is often more comfortable, more direct, and crucially more aggressively priced. This is the ripple effect that benefits you, the traveler, even if you never plan on flying to Doha. The very presence of that Qatar flight forces every other airline flying east from Seattle to reevaluate their pricing. That $1,600 fare to Mumbai on a European carrier might suddenly see a $300 price drop to stay competitive. That's the power of new competition. And it's not just Qatar. Turkish Airlines is pursuing an even more aggressive strategy. Their hub in Istanbul is a geographical marvel, perfectly positioned to connect Europe, Asia, and Africa. Their motto is that they fly to more countries than any other airline on Earth, and they are relentlessly adding U.S. cities to their network to feed that massive global web. They recently launched flights to Denver, and before that, Detroit and Seattle. Think about what this means for a traveler in Denver. Before, a trip to Eastern Europe, Central Asia, or much of Africa was a grueling 2 or even 3-stop journey. It was an odyssey. Now, cities like Prague, Budapest, or even exotic destinations like Tbilisi in Georgia or Kathmandu in Nepal are just one efficient stop away over Istanbul. This single route fundamentally changes the travel calculus for millions of people in the Mountain West region. It opens up entire continents. The competition it creates is just as fierce. United, with its hub in Denver, now has to fight tooth and nail to keep its transatlantic passengers from choosing the often cheaper and more comprehensive Turkish Airlines network. This influx of foreign competition is a primary driver behind one of the biggest trends we're seeing: the transformation of American airports. For decades, many U.S. airports treated their international terminals as an afterthought, cramped, outdated facilities with long lines and minimal amenities. They were simply not built to handle the sheer volume or the size of aircraft like the Airbus A380 or the Boeing 777 that these global carriers fly. That is changing, and it's changing fast. Airports are now in an arms race to attract these lucrative international routes. And the key to winning is providing a world-class passenger experience from the moment you step off the plane. Let's look at Chicago O'Hare. For years, arriving at Terminal 5, the international terminal, could be a stressful experience. But the airport is in the midst of a multi-billion-dollar modernization. They've already completed a massive expansion and renovation of Terminal 5, adding 10 new gates, more lounge space, and a vastly improved immigration and customs facility. The goal is simple: make the arrival process faster, smoother, and more welcoming. They're using advanced biometric screening that allows you to clear immigration with just a facial scan, dramatically cutting down on wait times. The new building is brighter, more spacious, and has better dining and shopping options. It's a recognition that the airport experience is part of the journey, not just a hurdle to be overcome. By creating a better facility, O'Hare can better compete with other hubs for those valuable international flights from carriers like Emirates, Etihad, and EVA Air. We see the same story playing out across the country. Seattle-Tacoma International Airport recently opened its stunning new international arrivals facility. It's a breathtaking piece of architecture, with a soaring aerial walkway that gives you incredible views of Mount Rainier as you cross over the top of an active taxiway. But beyond the aesthetics, it's about efficiency. The new facility more than doubles the airport's international capacity and is designed to slash connection times. This makes Seattle-Tacoma a much more attractive option not just for people living in the region, but for passengers connecting from other cities. If you know you can land from Asia and make your connection to Boise or Salt Lake City in under 90 minutes because of a super-efficient customs haul, you're more likely to book that route. This focus on the international arrival experience is critical. It's the first impression of the United States for millions of visitors, and for returning Americans, it's the final, often frustrating, leg of a long journey. Airports are realizing that a smooth, modern arrivals process is a powerful economic engine. It encourages tourism, facilitates business travel, and makes the airport a more desirable hub for airlines to operate from. So when you hear about your local airport spending billions on a new terminal, it's not just about a shiny new building. It's a strategic investment to attract the very airlines and routes that will ultimately give you more choices and lower fares for your next international adventure. The concrete and steel rising at airports from Orlando to Los Angeles is the physical manifestation of this new era of global competition. It's the battleground where airlines and cities are fighting for your travel dollars. But it's not just foreign airlines shaking things up. America's own budget carriers are getting bold, launching their own surprising international routes. Imagine flying to Europe for under $200. It's happening, but the airline doing it is probably not the one you think. It's an airline called Norse Atlantic Airways. And if you've never heard of them, you're not alone. They're a Norwegian low-cost carrier that essentially rose from the ashes of Norwegian Air's failed long-haul experiment. They took their planes, their strategy, and decided to give it another go. And this time it seems to be sticking. They are flying brand new, comfortable Boeing 787 Dreamliners, the same planes United or American fly on these routes. From major U.S. gateways like New York JFK, Los Angeles, and Miami, straight into the heart of Europe. We're talking London, Paris, Rome, Berlin. And yes, you can find one-way fares for under $200, sometimes as low as $150. Now, before you rush to book, we have to talk about how this is even possible and what the catch is. Because there's always a catch. The model is simple. Unbundling. That $150 ticket gets you in a small personal item that fits under the seat in front of you from point A to point B. That's it. Want to bring a carry-on bag for the overhead bin? That's extra. Want to check a suitcase? Extra. Want to choose your seat so you're not in a middle seat at the back by the lavatory? Extra. Want a meal on your 8-hour flight to Paris? You guessed it, that's extra too. Even a blanket and a pillow will cost you. By stripping the service down to its absolute core, Norse can offer a base fare that is almost impossibly low. This forces the legacy carriers, Delta, United, American, to compete on price, which is fantastic news for all of us. Even if you never fly Norse, their presence on a route like JFK to Rome puts immense downward pressure on everyone else's basic economy fares. It's a win for the consumer. But if you do choose to fly with them, you have to play their game to win. The key is to be a minimalist. Pack everything you need for a week in Europe into a single backpack. Bring a water bottle and fill it up after security. Pack your own sandwiches, snacks, and download movies to your tablet beforehand. If you can do that, you can genuinely fly to Europe for the price of a fancy dinner. If you can't, and you start adding on a checked bag, a meal, and seat selection, you might find your budget ticket costs just as much as a ticket on a full-service airline, but with none of the perks. This aggressive international push isn't just coming from overseas, though. America's own ultra-low-cost carriers are finally dipping their toes into international waters, and it's changing the game for millions of people who don't live near a major hub. Take Aviation Airlines. For years, if you lived in southern Connecticut and wanted to fly somewhere, you had two miserable options. Schlep down to the chaos of the New York City airports, or drive up to Boston Logan. It was a travel dead zone. Then, Aviation chose Little Tweed New Haven Airport as an East Coast base. Suddenly, you could park for a reasonable price, walk through a tiny stress-free terminal, and be on a plane in 15 minutes. Initially, they flew to places like Orlando and Fort Myers. But now, they've made their first international leap, launching service from New Haven to San Juan, Puerto Rico. And while technically a U.S. territory, it opens up a critical Caribbean connection for an entire region that never had one. This is their playbook. Find an underserved, forgotten airport, and turn it into a convenient gateway to sunshine. They're doing the same thing from Wilmington, Delaware, another airport the big guys completely ignored. They are proving that you don't need to live in a megacity to have access to affordable flights to vacation destinations. It's a quiet revolution happening at these small regional airports. And they're not alone. Breeze Airways, the brainchild of JetBlue founder David Neeleman, is following a similar script, but with a slightly different twist. Their motto is seriously nice, aiming to be a more pleasant, tech-forward budget option. They're also focusing on routes the other airlines ignore, what they call unserved city pairs. Think Providence, Rhode Island to Los Angeles, or Charleston, South Carolina to San Francisco. These are routes that American or Delta would never consider flying non-stop. But Breeze's secret weapon is their brand new Airbus A220 aircraft, a plane that's incredibly fuel efficient and perfectly sized for these thinner routes, making them profitable. And just like Aviation, Breeze is looking abroad. They've already filed for authority to fly to Mexico. Imagine non-stop flights from Hartford, Connecticut to Cancun, or from Richmond, Virginia to Los Cabos. That's the future they're building. It's about decentralizing air travel, taking power away from the massive, congested hubs and giving more options to people in mid-sized American cities. But flying these domestic budget carriers internationally comes with its own set of considerations. Their fleets are small. If your plane has a mechanical issue in San Juan, Aviation doesn't have a dozen spare aircraft sitting around like American Airlines might. A cancellation could mean waiting a day or two for the next available flight, not just a few hours. Their customer service is almost entirely online or through an app. You're not going to find a giant service desk staffed with agents who can rebook you on another airline. The trade-off for those rock-bottom fares and incredible convenience is a lack of a safety net. You are, to a certain extent, on your own if things go wrong. That's why travel insurance is not just a good idea when booking with these carriers. It should be considered mandatory. So what we're seeing is a two-pronged attack on the old way of flying. From the outside, you have carriers like Norse Atlantic dangling the dream of a sub-$200 European vacation, forcing the legacy giants to slash their own bare-bones fares. And from the inside, you have homegrown disruptors like Avalo and Breeze completely rewriting the domestic and short-haul international route map, bringing non-stop flights to cities the big airlines left behind. For the savvy traveler, this is the golden age of choice. You can fly a lie-flat business class seat on Delta, or you can fly to the same city for a tenth of the price on Norse by packing a backpack and a sandwich. You can connect through Atlanta or Chicago, or you can drive 10 minutes to your local airport and fly direct. The power is shifting back to the passenger. But this new wave of budget travel is putting immense pressure on airports. The infrastructure has to keep up. A tiny terminal built for a few commuter flights a day suddenly has to handle a fully loaded 737 heading for the Caribbean. And the major international gateways are in an all-out arms race. So while these budget disruptors are changing how we fly, the very ground we walk on at the airport is also undergoing a seismic shift. The legacy carriers aren't just fighting back with fares, they're fighting back with concrete and steel. And nowhere is this battle more epic than at New York's JFK, where they're not just building a new terminal, they're building an entirely new airport on top of the old one. The multi-billion-dollar race to build the American airport of the future is on, and the plans are simply staggering. At the heart of the JFK overhaul is the brand new Terminal 1. This isn't just a renovation. It's a 23-acre, $9.5 billion statement piece. Destined to be one of the top 10 largest terminals on the planet, it will replace the current, aging Terminal 1, the old Terminal 2, and the site of the former Terminal 3. Imagine walking into a terminal flooded with natural light, with soaring ceilings and interior green spaces that make you feel like you're in a park, not an airport. The plan calls for locally inspired restaurants from New York's top chefs, luxury retail, and lounges that look more like five-star hotels. This is JFK's bid to compete directly with the world-class hubs of Dubai, Singapore, and Doha. But that's just one piece of the puzzle. Over on the north side, JetBlue is spearheading the development of a new Terminal 6, a 1.2 million square foot facility that will connect seamlessly with its home base in Terminal 5. This $4 billion project promises automated backdrops, biometric security screening, and 10 new gates, with the first ones opening as early as 2026. And we can't forget the recent $1.5 billion expansion of Terminal 4 by Delta, or the $400 million upgrade to Terminal 8, creating a state-of-the-art joint terminal for American Airlines and British Airways. When you add it all up, JFK is undergoing an $18 billion transformation. It's a project of staggering complexity, being built while millions of passengers continue to fly through every month. It's like performing open-heart surgery on a marathon runner mid-race. But to truly grasp the sheer audacity of what's happening at JFK, you have to look just 8 miles across Queens to its sister airport, LaGuardia. For decades, LaGuardia was a national punchline, a symbol of crumbling American infrastructure. It was cramped, dark, and inefficient. But if you've flown through it recently, you know the punchline has changed. The joke is now on anyone who hasn't seen it. The transformation is, without exaggeration, one of the most remarkable public works projects in modern American history. The new Terminal B, which serves airlines like United, Southwest, and American, is a masterpiece. It won UNESCO's Prix Versailles for the best new airport in the world. Think about that. The airport once compared to a third-world country is now, officially, the best on Earth. You walk in and you're greeted by a 450-foot wide hall with 60-foot high ceilings. Sunlight pours in. The check-in and security areas are spacious and efficient. But the real magic happens post-security. Instead of dark, narrow hallways, you walk across one of two massive skybridges, so high that a Boeing 737 can taxi right underneath you. It gives you this incredible panoramic view of the airfield. And the concourses themselves are filled with high-end restaurants, local art installations, and even an iconic water feature that puts on a synchronized light and music show. Then there's Delta's new Terminal C, which consolidated its old, separate terminals into one magnificent, $4 billion structure. It's another cathedral of air travel, with floor-to-ceiling windows offering stunning views of Flushing Bay. The new LaGuardia is more than just a functional space. It's a destination. It's a powerful testament that America can, in fact, build beautiful world-class infrastructure again. It's the proof of concept that fuels the even grander ambitions at JFK. But this renaissance isn't confined to New York. 3,000 miles away, an equally massive transformation is underway at Los Angeles International Airport, LAX. For anyone who has ever been stuck in that infamous horseshoe-shaped traffic nightmare, the changes coming are nothing short of revolutionary. The centerpiece is the $2.7 billion automated people mover. This is the game changer. It's an electric train system on a 2.25-mile elevated guideway that will finally connect the central terminal area to the city's metro rail system. More importantly for travelers, it will connect to a massive new consolidated rent-a-car facility, the largest in the world, and new economy parking structures. For the first time ever, you'll be able to get to and from LAX without ever getting into a car or shuttle bus on the terminal roadway. This project alone is set to completely re-engineer the passenger experience. But that's just the transportation part. Inside the airport, the work is just as extensive. Delta has completed a massive $1.9 billion modernization of Terminals 2 and 3, creating what they call a skyway, with a consolidated check-in lobby and a seamless connection to the Tom Bradley International Terminal. And then there's the new Midfield Satellite Concourse, a $1.6 billion addition with 15 new gates to relieve overcrowding and better accommodate the next generation of large aircraft. LAX is spending over $14 billion to prepare for the 2028 Olympics and beyond, determined to create a gateway worthy of the world stage. This isn't just a coastal competition either. Head inland to the heart of the country, and you'll find Denver International Airport in the midst of its own major evolution. Even though it's one of America's newer airports, DIN is already the third busiest in the world, and it's bursting at the seams. The airport is tackling this with a two-pronged approach. First is the completion of the Great Hall project. This multi-phase, $1.3 billion renovation of the main Jeppesen terminal is all about improving passenger flow. They've moved the security checkpoints from the main floor up to level 6, creating a much larger, more efficient screening area with the latest technology. This frees up the iconic, tinted main hall to become a destination for passengers to meet, greet, and relax before their flights, rather than a chaotic bottleneck. The second part is a massive gate expansion program. Denver has added 39 new gates across all three of its concourses, a 25% increase in capacity. This was desperately needed to accommodate the rapid growth of its hub airlines, United and Southwest. These new gate areas aren't just hallways with chairs. They feature modern seating with power outlets at every seat, outdoor decks with fire pits and views of the Rocky Mountains, and new local dining options. Denver is strategically investing to solidify its position as the premier connecting hub in the middle of the country. And you can't talk about American mega-hubs without talking about Chicago O'Hare. For years, O'Hare has been a workhorse, functional, massive, but showing its age. That's all about to change with the O'Hare 21 project, an $8.5 billion plan to build the O'Hare of the future. The crown jewel of this project is the new O'Hare Global Terminal, slated to replace the old Terminal 2. This 2.2 million square foot facility will be one of the most advanced in the country. Designed by famed architect Gene Gang, its soaring Y-shaped structure is meant to evoke the confluence of the Chicago River, a nod to the city's history. It will consolidate domestic and international operations under one roof, allowing for seamless connections between airlines and alliances. The goal is to dramatically cut down connection times and make O'Hare a far more efficient and pleasant place to transit. It's a bold vision designed to re-establish O'Hare not just as the busiest, but as the best. From New York to LA, from Denver to Chicago, billions upon billions of dollars are being poured into the ground and raised into the sky. This is more than just construction. It's a nationwide acknowledgement that our airports are our front doors to the world. They are the first impression we make on international visitors, and the first welcome home for returning citizens. For decades, that impression has been one of decay. But now, a new story is being written in concrete, steel, and glass. A story of ambition, innovation, and a renewed sense of civic pride. These megaprojects are reshaping the very ground we walk on, but the changes in the sky are just as dramatic. A new battle is brewing between airlines, not for gates, but for your loyalty, and they're rolling out some incredible new perks to win you over. It's a fundamental shift in philosophy. For years, the game was simple: fly more, get more miles, maybe get an upgrade. But that model is broken. Travelers today are more discerning, more demanding, and less loyal than ever before. The pandemic taught us that plans can change in an instant, and the value of a mile that you can't spend is zero. So the airlines are adapting, and they're doing it with breathtaking speed. They're realizing that loyalty isn't just about the destination. It's about the entire journey, from the moment you book to the second you grab your bag at the carousel. This is the new frontier, the battle of the soft product. It's a term for all the intangible things that make a flight bearable, or even enjoyable. And the biggest shot fired in this war so far has been over Wi-Fi. For years, in-flight internet has been a joke. It was slow, expensive, and unreliable. You'd pay $15 just to watch a loading symbol spin for 3 hours. Delta saw this massive pain point and went all in. They partnered with T-Mobile to roll out fast, free Wi-Fi for all SkyMiles members across their entire domestic fleet. Think about that. It's not a perk for first class or elite status holders. It's for everyone. It's a utility like a lavatory or a seatbelt. This move was a seismic shock to the industry. Suddenly, American and United, who were still charging for spotty service, looked like they were living in the dark ages. United is now scrambling to catch up, accelerating their own Wi-Fi upgrades, but Delta had the first mover advantage. They didn't just offer a new feature. They changed the baseline expectation of what it means to fly in America. But it doesn't stop at connectivity. The food and beverage programs are being completely reimagined. This isn't just about bringing back the sad little bags of pretzels. American Airlines is partnering with celebrity chefs like Sam Choi to design their flagship first and business class menus on premium transcontinental and international routes. We're talking about dishes like soy-glazed halibut and slow-braised beef short rib. It's a conscious effort to make the meal an event, not just sustenance. United is doing the same with its Polaris business class, reintroducing multi-course meal services with things like the signature ice cream sundae cart. A small touch that frequent flyers genuinely love and missed. Even budget-friendly airlines are getting in on the action. JetBlue has always been known for its brand-name snacks, but they're now offering full hot meals from New York's popular restaurant group, Dig, in their core cabin on transatlantic flights. The message is clear. The sad, foil-wrapped mystery meat of the past is being phased out in favor of something you might actually look forward to eating. And then there are the amenity kits. For a long time, these were just a cheap pair of socks and a toothbrush in a plastic bag. Now they're becoming curated, high-end gift boxes. United partnered with the trendy luggage brand Away to create mini suitcase amenity kits, filled with products from Sunday Riley Skincare. Delta has kits from a Mexican artisan brand called Someone Somewhere, focusing on sustainability and supporting local communities. American has Shinola and DS and Durga. These aren't just amenities, they are brand partnerships designed to associate the airline with luxury, wellness, and modern sensibilities. It's a way of saying, we understand your lifestyle, and we share your values. It's incredibly smart marketing. Of course, the most aggressive front in this loyalty war isn't happening in the sky at all. It's happening inside your wallet. The co-branded credit card arms race has reached a fever pitch. Airlines make billions of dollars a year selling miles to banks, and the banks are in a desperate fight to get you to sign up for their airline-affiliated cards. The sign-up bonuses are reaching astronomical levels. It's not uncommon to see offers for 80,000, 100,000, or even more miles just for signing up and meeting a minimum spend. That's enough for a round-trip ticket to Europe before you've even really started. But the real innovation is in the perks that come with just holding the card. It's no longer just about earning miles on flights. The Chase United cards, for example, now offer bonus miles on dining and streaming services. The American Express Delta cards offer statement credits for services like Resay and rideshares. They are trying to make these cards indispensable for your everyday life, not just for your travel life. The goal is to make the card so valuable that the annual fee becomes an afterthought. Free checked bags for you and your companions? That can save you hundreds of dollars on a single family trip, easily justifying a $99 annual fee. Access to airport lounges? The Amex Platinum card, while having a steep annual fee, grants access to Delta Sky Clubs, Priority Pass lounges, and their own ultra-premium Centurion lounges. For a frequent traveler, that access is priceless. It's a quiet place to work, get a decent meal, and escape the chaos of the main terminal. This strategy is a direct assault on the traditional way of earning status. In the past, you had to be a true road warrior, flying hundreds of thousands of miles a year, to get perks like lounge access or priority boarding. Now, you can get many of those same benefits just by choosing the right credit card. Airlines have created a shortcut to the good life, and it's democratizing the premium travel experience. It's also incredibly sticky. Once you're used to not paying for checked bags and getting a free drink in the lounge before your flight, are you really going to switch to an airline where you don't have those perks? Probably not. They've created golden handcuffs, and we're happily putting them on. And this fierce competition isn't limited to the big three. Alaska Airlines, a perennial favorite for customer service, is leveraging its entry into the One World Alliance in a brilliant way. Suddenly, their mileage plan miles, which were already some of the most valuable in the industry, can be used on partners like Qatar Airways, Cathay Pacific, and Japan Airlines. They're offering their loyal West Coast customer base a gateway to the entire world. Their co-branded credit card also offers one of the most valuable and straightforward perks in the business: the annual companion fare. For just about $120, you can bring a companion with you on any Alaska flight, anywhere they fly. It's an unbelievably good deal that keeps people locked into their ecosystem. Meanwhile, JetBlue continues to punch above its weight with its Mint business class product. By offering lie-flat seats on transcontinental routes at a price point that often undercuts the legacy carriers, they forced American, Delta, and United to up their game. They created a new standard. Now, with their expansion into Europe, they're proving that a smaller airline can compete on the world's most lucrative routes by offering a superior product. Their loyalty program, TrueBlue, is simple and easy to understand, and their partnership with American Express gives them a powerful tool to attract and retain high-value customers. This is the new reality. Every single touchpoint is being optimized for loyalty. The airlines are using mountains of data to understand what you value, and they are tailoring offers and experiences directly to you. It's a sophisticated, multi-billion-dollar chess match where the prize is your unwavering allegiance. They want to be your default choice, the automatic click when you search for a flight. They are investing in comfort, in technology, in flavor, and in convenience, all to win a small piece of your heart and a much larger piece of your wallet. But all the free champagne and faster Wi-Fi in the world don't matter if you're stuck in a cramped, outdated seat for 8 hours. And that's where the real revolution is happening, inside the very structure of the planes themselves. For decades, the airline seat has been an instrument of mild torture, a compromise engineered not for your comfort, but for the airline's bottom line. The goal was simple. How many human beings can we legally and physically cram into an aluminum tube hurtling through the stratosphere? This led to the dreaded race to the bottom, where legroom or seat pitch shrunk from a manageable 34 inches in the golden age of travel down to a knee-crushing 30, or even 28 inches on some budget carriers. The seat itself became a wafer-thin, barely padded plank, seemingly designed by someone who had never actually sat down. We accepted this as the price of affordable travel, a necessary evil. But that era is ending. The revolution isn't about going back to the past. It's about using brilliant engineering and a deeper understanding of human ergonomics to completely reinvent what an airline seat can be, even in economy. Let's start where most of us fly, the main cabin. The biggest breakthrough here is the so-called slimline seat. Now, when you hear that, you probably think, great, they made it even thinner and less comfortable. And a decade ago, you might have been right. The first generation of these were awful. But the new generation of slimline seats, from companies like Recaro and Collins Aerospace, are marvels of design. Instead of thick, bulky foam and metal frames, they use advanced composite materials and high-tech sculpted foam. This allows them to create a seat that is dramatically thinner, but paradoxically, more comfortable. So how do they do it? First, they move the structural supports. The old seat design had thick metal bars right at knee level. The new designs raise those supports, creating a scooped-out area right where your knees go. This single change can add up to 2 inches of effective legroom without changing the distance to the seat in front of you at all. It's an optical illusion of space, created by clever engineering. Second, they've relocated the magazine pocket. For years, it was this bulky pouch right in your kneecaps. Now you'll find it moved up high near the tray table, freeing up that critical lower space. It seems like a tiny change, but over a 6-hour flight, it's the difference between discomfort and outright agony. And the padding itself? It's no longer just a thick slab of cheap foam. It's body-mapped with different densities and support levels for your lower back and thighs, using materials borrowed from high-end office chairs and luxury cars. So while the seat is physically thinner, it provides better support where you actually need it, reducing fatigue on long journeys. But the real unsung hero of the new economy cabin is the headrest. Remember those old, flat, immovable headrests? The ones that were always at the wrong height and forced your head forward? They were useless. Then came the ones with the little wings you could fold in, which was a step up, but they were often flimsy. The new standard, which you're starting to see on the latest jets from carriers like Delta and United, is the 6-way adjustable headrest. Not only do the wings fold in, but the entire assembly slides up and down on a notch track, clicking securely into place. This means you can position it perfectly to cradle your head and neck, preventing that dreaded head bob that jolts you awake just as you're drifting off to sleep. It's a small detail that makes a world of difference in your ability to get meaningful rest on a long-haul flight. Now let's move up to the front of the plane, because that's where the innovation gets truly mind-blowing. The business class cabin has become the primary battlefield for airline competition. For years, the gold standard was the lie-flat seat. The ability to lie completely horizontal was a game-changer. But the problem was privacy. In most older configurations, you were still very much in a cabin with dozens of other people. You could see your neighbor, hear their conversations, and get bumped by people walking down the aisle. The revolution here wasn't just about the seat. It was about the space around the seat. It was about creating a personal bubble. Enter the business class suite. The concept was pioneered by carriers like Qatar Airways with their incredible Xwite. And it was so revolutionary that it forced every other major airline to respond. The key innovation? A door. A simple sliding door that turns your seat into a private cocoon. Delta was the first US carrier to go all in on this with their Delta One suites. And the difference is staggering. Suddenly, you're not just in a seat, you're in your own little room. You have privacy, personal space, and a sense of calm that was previously reserved for first class. But the door is only part of the story. The layout of these suites is just as important. You'll hear terms like reverse herringbone and staggered thrown around. But what do they actually mean for you, the passenger? A reverse herringbone layout, used by many airlines for their best business class products, angles every single seat towards the window. This has two huge benefits. First, everyone gets direct aisle access. No more of that awkward midnight clamber over your sleeping seatmate to get to the lavatory. Second, because of the angle, you're naturally facing away from the aisle and your fellow passengers, which dramatically increases the sense of privacy, even without a full door. A staggered layout, like the one you might find on JetBlue's Mint service or on some American Airlines planes, alternates the seat positions row by row. One row might have the seat closer to the aisle with a large console by the window, while the next row has the seat tucked against the window with the console on the aisle. This creates different kinds of seats within the same cabin. The throne seats, tucked against the window, are incredibly private and sought after by solo travelers. The seats closer together in the center section, sometimes called honeymoon seats, are perfect for couples traveling together. Understanding these layouts before you book can completely change your flight experience. And the seat technology itself has taken a quantum leap forward. The latest generation of business class seats, like the Collins Aerospace Super Diamond or the Safran Cirrus, are masterpieces of ergonomic wizardry. They feature what's called a zero-gravity setting. This isn't just marketing fluff. It's a concept developed by NASA to position the human body in a state of weightlessness, cradling you in a neutral posture that reduces pressure on your spine and improves circulation. With the touch of a button, the seat reclines while also raising your legs slightly above your heart. It's a feeling of incredible relaxation, and it's the closest you can get to feeling weightless at 35,000 feet. So why is all of this happening now? Few key reasons. First, the new generation of aircraft. Planes like the Boeing 787 Dreamliner and the Airbus A350 are built with advanced composite materials, which means their internal cabins are wider and more flexible, giving airlines a bigger canvas to design these innovative layouts. Second, post-pandemic travel has seen a huge surge in demand for premium experiences. People are willing to pay more for comfort, space, and privacy, and the airlines are racing to meet that demand. Finally, it's just pure cutthroat competition. When one airline introduces a revolutionary new seat, it creates a ripple effect, forcing all its competitors to up their game or risk being left behind. The ultimate winner in this arms race for comfort is you, the traveler. The days of accepting a cramped, painful seat as the norm are over. We are entering a new golden age of aircraft interior design. But the seat is just one piece of the puzzle. To truly transform the passenger experience, you have to look beyond the seat itself and redesign the entire environment around it. The very air you breathe, the light you see, it's all being re-engineered to make you feel better when you land than when you took off. And that philosophy, that commitment to a better passenger journey, is finally breaking through the jet bridge and flooding into the terminals themselves. For decades, American airports were punchlines. They were utilitarian concrete boxes you endured, not enjoyed. But a revolution is underway. A multi-hundred billion dollar reimagining of the American gateway. And it's happening faster than you think. The goal is no longer just to get you to your plane on time, but to start your vacation, or your business trip the moment you walk through the door. Take what's happening down in Orlando. For years, MCO has been bursting at the seams, a victim of its own success as the gateway to the theme park capital of the world. The solution wasn't just another concourse, it was a complete reinvention. The new Terminal C isn't just a building, it's a statement. From the moment you arrive, you notice the difference. The entire space is flooded with natural light from massive floor-to-ceiling windows. The architecture is airy, open, and designed to reduce stress, not create it. They've integrated technology in ways that actually help. Instead of a chaotic scramble for the check-in desk, you have bag drops that are largely automated. Security lanes use advanced screening that, for most passengers, means you can leave your laptops and liquids in your bag. It's a small change that makes a monumental difference to your stress levels. But it's after security where the vision truly comes to life. They call it the Boulevard, a sprawling concourse lined with shops and restaurants that feel more like a high-end city district than an airport terminal. And at its heart is a massive digital art installation called the Moment Vault, a 360-degree immersive experience that transforms the space around you. It's designed to give you a moment of wonder, a pause in the travel chaos. This isn't just about looking pretty, it's a strategic move. By creating a destination within the airport, they're encouraging passengers to arrive earlier, spend more, and start their trip with a positive feeling. And airlines are taking notice. This new capacity and elevated experience is a magnet for international carriers. Aer Lingus has bolstered its service from Dublin and Manchester, connecting Europe directly to this new terminal. Brazil's Azul and GOL are pouring in flights, making Orlando a premier connection point for South America. It's a perfect example of the "if you build it, they will come" philosophy, and it's paying off. Now let's head west to a different kind of airport transformation, one born of pure necessity. Salt Lake City International. For years, SLC was the quintessential workhorse hub for Delta. It was efficient but cramped, a 1960s-era design trying to handle 21st-century traffic. The rebuild there isn't a cosmetic upgrade. It's a complete demolition and replacement, happening while the airport remains one of the busiest in the country. It's like performing open-heart surgery on a marathon runner mid-race. The new SLC is stunning. It's a cathedral of glass and steel set against the backdrop of the Wasatch Mountains. The mission was to create a hub that was not only beautiful but hyper-efficient for connecting traffic, which is Delta's bread and butter. The result is a massive linear concourse. And that's where the main growing pain has been: the walk. If you've flown through SLC recently, you know what I'm talking about. The walk from the A gates to the B gates can feel like a journey in itself. It's currently a nearly 1-mile trek from the furthest points. This has been the single biggest complaint, but it's a temporary problem with a permanent solution in sight. The central tunnel is now under construction, and when it opens, it will drastically cut down connection times and save thousands of steps. It's a reminder that these massive projects have painful intermediate phases. But the payoff is enormous. Delta is doubling down on Salt Lake, leveraging the new facility to launch routes that would have been impossible before. They're adding more nonstops to the East Coast and are reportedly eyeing a major expansion into Europe from SLC, potentially with new service to Paris or Amsterdam, turning this Rocky Mountain hub into a true intercontinental gateway. The airport's growing pains are a direct result of its soaring ambition. But it's not just the mega hubs that are changing the game. Sometimes, the most dramatic transformations happen in the heartland. For decades, if you asked travelers to name the worst airport in America, Kansas City's MCI would have been near the top of the list. It was a bizarre, horseshoe-shaped design from the 1970s that was revolutionary at the time. You could park right outside your gate. But in the post-9/11 world, it was a security nightmare and a passenger inconvenience. There were no amenities past security, no options, no comfort. It was miserable. Well, that airport is gone. In its place is a brand new $1.5 billion single terminal that is, without exaggeration, one of the best in the country. It's the ultimate glow-up story. They didn't just fix the problems. They created a love letter to their city. The terminal is filled with local touches, from barbecue joints that are actually good, to art installations created by local artists. The concourses are wide, the ceilings are high, and the amenities are fantastic. They built a sensory room for travelers with autism. They have an inclusive play zone for kids. They even have a simulated airplane cabin to help anxious travelers get acclimated before their flight. And the new design has been a powerful economic engine. Southwest, already a major player, has expanded its footprint. But the big news is the return of international service. The new terminal's customs and immigration facilities are state-of-the-art, and it's what allowed Icelandair to announce new seasonal service, connecting Kansas City directly to Reykjavik and all of Europe. It's a route that simply could not have existed with the old terminal. Kansas City proved that a mid-sized city can build a world-class airport that reflects its community and attracts new business, setting a new standard for cities across the country. These projects in Orlando, Salt Lake, and Kansas City aren't isolated events. They represent a fundamental shift. America is finally waking up to the fact that airports are our front doors to the world. They are the first impression a visitor gets and the last memory a resident takes with them. For decades, that impression has been one of decay and frustration. Now we're seeing a fierce competition between cities and airport authorities, a battle to build the most efficient, the most comfortable, and the most memorable travel experience on the ground, long before you ever step onto the plane. But all of these incredible projects, even the colossal rebuild at Salt Lake, are dwarfed by the sheer mind-boggling scale and complexity of what's happening at one single airport on the East Coast. An airport that for a generation has been synonymous with chaos, delays, and dread. I'm talking about the $16 billion plus gamble to tear down and rebuild nearly every single passenger terminal at New York's JFK. All at the same time. It's the most ambitious aviation project in American history, and it is a beautiful, complicated, and outrageously expensive mess. To understand the sheer audacity of this project, you have to understand what JFK was. It wasn't one airport. It was a chaotic collection of 8, sometimes 9 separate terminals, each built at different times by different airlines for different purposes. You had the iconic TWA Flight Center, the Pan Am Worldport, the American Airlines Terminal, the United Terminal, each was its own little kingdom. And getting between them? A nightmare. The road system was a confusing spaghetti-like mess, and the AirTran, while a good idea, often felt like an afterthought, forcing you on a long winding journey just to get from one side of the airport to the other. It was a relic of a bygone era, completely unequipped for the 21st century megaplanes and the massive waves of passengers they carry. So the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, along with a consortium of private investors and airlines, decided to do the unthinkable. Instead of a slow, piecemeal renovation that would take decades, they chose the rip-the-band-aid-off approach. Demolish the old, the outdated, and the inefficient and build 4 massive state-of-the-art and crucially interconnected megaterminals. The total price tag? It started at $10 billion, then $15, and is now hovering around $19.5 billion. That's more than the entire GDP of dozens of countries, all being spent on one airport renovation. So what does this mess look like on the ground? Let's break it down terminal by terminal. First, the biggest and most expensive piece of the puzzle, the new Terminal 1. This isn't a renovation, it's a creation. Rising from the ashes of the old Terminal 1, the demolished Terminal 2, and the iconic but long-gone Pan Am Worldport of Terminal 3, this will be JFK's new international front door. At a cost of $9.5 billion, this single project is more expensive than the entire new airport in Salt Lake City. It's a joint venture led by a group of airlines that reads like a who's who of global travel: Air France, Lufthansa, Korean Air, and Japan Airlines. When it's fully complete, it will be a 2.4 million square foot behemoth, the second largest terminal at JFK. With 23 new gates, expansive, light-filled check-in halls, and amenities designed to rival the best airports in Singapore and the Middle East. Phase 1 is slated to open in 2026, with the full terminal operational by 2030. This is the new anchor for the south side of the airport. But while Terminal 1 is the future, Delta Airlines is betting its future on Terminal 4. For years, Delta has been the king of JFK, and they're spending $1.5 billion to solidify that reign. They're undertaking a massive expansion of T4, adding over 150,000 square feet, 10 new domestic gates on Concourse A, and renovating their arrivals and departures halls. The centerpiece of this is their spectacular new Delta Sky Club, a sprawling lounge with a sky deck that offers incredible views of the airfield. This move allows Delta to finally consolidate all of its operations into one terminal, moving their remaining regional jet flights out of the ancient Terminal 2 before it was torn down. For Delta flyers, This means no more confusing terminal changes or long sprints to catch a connection. Everything from a quick hop to Boston to a long-haul flight to Johannesburg will happen under one very large and very modern roof. Now let's jump across the airport to the north side, where JetBlue is making its own multi-billion-dollar statement. JetBlue grew up at JFK, famously operating out of the gorgeous, historic TWA Flight Center, before building its own modern home at Terminal 5. But they've outgrown it. So they're building a $4.2 billion neighbor, the new Terminal 6. This brand new 1.2 million square foot terminal will be built on the site of the old Terminal 6 and the demolished Terminal 7. It will seamlessly connect to JetBlue's existing Terminal 5, effectively creating a massive, unified campus for the airline and its partners. And the partners are significant. The Lufthansa Group, which includes Lufthansa, Swiss, Austrian Airlines, and Brussels Airlines, will be moving in, creating a powerful hub that will compete directly with the other airline alliances at the airport. The first gates of Terminal 6 are scheduled to open in 2026, with the project fully completed by 2028. But what about the One World Alliance, anchored by American Airlines? They got a head start. Their project at Terminal 8 is the one piece of this massive puzzle that is already, for the most part, complete. American Airlines and British Airways invested over $400 million to expand and refurbish Terminal 8, turning it into the primary U.S. hub for the One World Alliance. They added new gates, upgraded the baggage systems, and most importantly, co-located their premium services. This created 3 stunning new joint-operated lounges, Chelsea, Soho, and Greenwich, that cater to every tier of premium passenger. Now a passenger can fly in on a British Airways flight from London, clear customs, and walk just a few gates down to their connecting American Airlines flight to Los Angeles, all without ever leaving the terminal. It's the kind of seamless experience that JFK has been promising for decades, and at Terminal 8, it's finally a reality. So, you have these 4 colossal projects happening simultaneously: the new Terminal 1, the Terminal 4 expansion, the new Terminal 6, and the Terminal 8 upgrades. The result, for anyone traveling through JFK right now, is organized chaos. The central roadway network is a constantly shifting labyrinth of orange cones, temporary barriers, and lane closures. Getting dropped off or picked up feels like a special operation. You'll see gleaming new glass-walled concourses rising up behind rickety temporary plywood walkways. The symphony of the airport is no longer just jet engines. It's the constant roar of construction, the beeping of reversing trucks, and the clang of steel beams being hoisted into place. You absolutely, positively must give yourself extra time if you're flying out of JFK in the next few years. I'm not talking about an extra 15 minutes. I'm talking an extra hour, maybe more, just to navigate the airport itself. It's painful, it's expensive, and it's confusing. But here's the vision: the light at the end of this $19 billion tunnel. When the dust settles around 2030, JFK will be reborn. The old, disconnected collection of terminals will be gone. In its place will be a unified airport, built around a simplified, intuitive ring road. The 4 megaterminals, 1, 4, 6, and 8, will be the new pillars of the airport, handling virtually all passenger traffic. They will be connected to each other, and to the parking garages and hotel by a faster, more efficient AirTran system. Finally, transferring from an international flight on Lufthansa at Terminal 6 to a domestic flight on Delta at Terminal 4 will be a simple, streamlined process. The airport will be able to handle an estimated 80 million passengers a year, a huge increase from its pre-pandemic peak. It will be a true gateway to America, an airport that is no longer an embarrassment to endure, but a destination to experience. It's a transformation on a scale we have never seen before in this country. A high-stakes bet that the short-term pain of construction will be worth the long-term gain of having a world-class airport in the world's most important city. But a world-class airport is only half the equation. It's the hardware. The real magic, the thing that connects us to the world, is the software, the airlines, and the routes they fly. And while the concrete sets at JFK, a revolution is happening in the skies above. A frantic, strategic chess match being played out by airlines fighting for your travel dollars. It's a battle being fought on 2 completely different fronts. First, there's the ground war happening right here at home. This is the scrappy underdog fight for the heart of America. While the legacy carriers focus on their massive hubs, a new breed of airline is quietly and brilliantly connecting the dots in between. Take Breeze Airways, for instance. This isn't an airline that's trying to compete on the New York to LA route. That's a bloody, saturated market. Instead, they're looking at a map of the United States and seeing not just cities but people. People in places like Akron, Ohio, or Provo, Utah, or Charleston, South Carolina, who have been historically underserved, forced to take a one-stop connection for almost any flight. Breeze's strategy is simple, yet revolutionary: point-to-point flights between these forgotten cities. This week, they announced a slate of new routes that perfectly encapsulates this vision. They're launching service from Portland, Maine to Norfolk, Virginia, from Akron, Canton to Tampa, from Huntsville, Alabama to Las Vegas. These aren't routes that make headlines in the Wall Street Journal, but for the people living in those cities, they are life-changing. It means a weekend trip to see family is no longer a full-day ordeal. It means a small business owner in Provo can get to a meeting in San Bernardino, California, without wasting a day in a hub airport. They're using the hyper-efficient Airbus A220, a plane that allows them to fly these longer, thinner routes profitably. They are, in essence, stitching the country together in a way it has never been before, and legacy airlines are starting to wake up to the threat. And they're not alone. Avalo Airlines is running a similar playbook on the West Coast, building up bases in places like Burbank, California, and Pasco, Washington. It's a land grab for the secondary airports, the ones that are easier to get to, have shorter security lines, and offer a less stressful travel experience. This is a fundamental rethinking of the American air travel map. The old hub-and-spoke system, designed decades ago, is being challenged by a more nimble, more flexible network that actually reflects where people live and where they want to go. It's a quiet rebellion against the tyranny of the hub, and it's saving millions of travelers time and money. But while that ground war is being fought in America's heartland, a far more glamorous battle is raging over the Atlantic Ocean. This is the air war. With international travel roaring back to life, the legacy carriers United, Delta, and American are in an all-out arms race to capture the lucrative transatlantic market. And their weapon of choice is the long-range narrow-body jet. For decades, flying to Europe from the US meant you had to be on a massive wide-body jet like a Boeing 777 or an Airbus A330. That meant airlines could only fly these routes from their biggest hubs, where they could guarantee filling all 300-plus seats. But now, planes like the Airbus A321XLR and the Boeing 737 MAX have the range to cross the pond, but with half the seats. This changes everything. Suddenly, the economics work for direct flights from smaller US cities to dozens of European destinations. And the announcements are coming fast and furious. United just revealed it's launching a new non-stop flight from its Denver hub to Reykjavik, Iceland. Think about that. A few years ago, a flight like that would have been unthinkable. Now you can fly directly from the Rocky Mountains to the land of fire and ice. Delta is countering with a massive expansion out of Boston, adding new service to Rome and Athens, capitalizing on the demand for European summer vacations. They're turning Boston into a true transatlantic gateway, challenging the dominance of New York's JFK. And American Airlines isn't sitting on the sidelines. They're betting big on Philadelphia, launching a brand new, first-ever route to Nice, France, opening up the French Riviera to millions of people who previously had to connect through Paris or Amsterdam. This isn't just about adding dots to a map. It's a strategic realignment. The airlines are de-risking their international networks. Instead of betting the farm on a single daily 777 flight, they can offer more frequency with smaller, more efficient jets. It gives travelers more choice, and it gives the airlines more flexibility to adapt to changing demand. It means the era of being forced to fly through a mega hub in London, Paris, or Frankfurt just to get to a smaller European city is coming to an end. The future of transatlantic travel is direct. But perhaps the most fascinating development of the week, the one that truly shows how much the world is changing, comes from an unexpected place. It's a route that connects two cities you've probably never thought of in the same sentence: Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina, and Frankfurt, Germany. Lufthansa, the German flag carrier, has just announced they will begin non-stop service between these two cities. Now, why is this so significant? Because it's not a route driven by tourism. It's driven by business. Raleigh-Durham is the heart of the Research Triangle, a booming hub for tech, biotech, and pharmaceutical companies. Many of those companies are German, or have major operations in Germany. For years, executives, scientists, and engineers flying between these two critical economic zones had to endure a connection, usually in Charlotte or Washington, D.C. It was inefficient. It cost time and money. Lufthansa saw this. They saw the flow of capital, the flow of intellectual property, and they drew a line directly between the 2 points. This flight is a steel thread connecting the economy of the American South with the industrial heart of Europe. It's a testament to the globalization of not just megacities like New York and London, but of these rising second-tier economic powerhouses. It's proof that in today's world, the most important connections aren't always the most obvious ones. So what we're seeing is a complete reshaping of air travel, both domestically and internationally. At home, new airlines are using new planes to connect underserved cities, creating a more equitable and efficient network. Abroad, legacy carriers are using new planes to bypass the old mega-hubs, offering more direct access to the world than ever before. It's an incredible time to be a traveler, a moment of unprecedented choice and connectivity. But all these new routes, these shiny new airport terminals we talked about, they all rely on one thing: a seamless, stress-free passenger experience. And let's be honest, that's the one part of the equation that still feels fundamentally broken. The long lines, the confusing processes, the constant anxiety. But what if that was about to change? What if the biggest innovation in travel wasn't a new plane or a new route, but a complete reinvention of the airport journey itself? One company is betting billions that it has the answer, and their plan could eliminate the single most hated part of flying for good. That part of flying is, of course, the security line. It's the great equalizer of travel misery. It doesn't matter if you're in first class or the last row. Everyone is subjected to the same chaotic ballet of gray plastic bins, the hurried unlacing of shoes, the frantic search for that one-quart bag of tiny liquids. It's a system born out of necessity, but one that has barely evolved in 2 decades, becoming a bottleneck of stress and inefficiency that sets the tone for the entire journey. We've accepted it as a necessary evil, but a new public-private consortium, backed by a staggering $4 billion investment, is challenging that acceptance. They're not just trying to make the security line faster, they're planning to make it invisible. The project is taking shape at one of America's busiest hubs, Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport. It's the testing ground for what they are calling a fully frictionless terminal. The concept is simple in its goal, but breathtakingly complex in its execution. To use a fusion of biometric identification, artificial intelligence, and next-generation scanning technology to allow ticketed passengers to walk from the curb to their gate in minutes, without ever stopping, without ever showing a document, and without ever unpacking a single item from their bag. Imagine this. You arrive at the new terminal. There is no check-in counter. Instead, as you walk through the entrance, discrete optical sensors identify you via facial recognition, instantly cross-referencing your face with your flight details and your digital ID stored securely with the TSA. Your boarding pass is now you. Your phone buzzes with a confirmation. Welcome. You are checked in for Flight 1421 to Miami. Next, the bag drop. Forget the long snaking lines. You approach a sleek automated pod. You place your suitcase inside, it's weighed, scanned, and a tag is printed and applied by a robotic arm. The pod seals, and your bag is whisked away into the airport's intelligent luggage system. You receive another notification with your bag's tracking number, and a confirmation it's on its way to the plane. The entire process takes less than 30 seconds. But here is the revolutionary part, the part that erases the dreaded checkpoint. Instead of funneling everyone into a crowded screening area, you simply continue walking down a wide, open corridor. This is the smart passage. As you walk through it at a normal pace, you are being screened by technology that makes current X-ray scanners look like ancient relics. Millimeter wave scanners, advanced CT systems, and chemical trace detectors are embedded in the walls and ceiling, creating a complete, three-dimensional, real-time image of you and everything you're carrying. Your laptop stays in its case. Your shoes stay on your feet. The AI-powered system analyzes terabytes of data per second, flagging potential threats with a precision that human operators could never achieve, all without you breaking your stride. If an anomaly is detected, you are discreetly guided by a digital display to a secondary screening lane where an agent is already waiting with the specific information about the item in question. For over 99% of travelers, the security process would be something they walk through, not something they wait for. Once you're through the smart passage, the terminal opens up into a space designed to be experienced, not just endured. Using the airport's app, augmented reality wayfinding can be overlaid on your phone's camera, guiding you directly to your gate, a lounge, or a restaurant with the shortest wait time, all personalized to your schedule. Boarding is no longer a chaotic huddle around the gate agent. The system knows where every passenger is in the terminal. When it's time to board, you get a simple push notification. The gate itself uses the same biometric scanner, so you just walk onto the jet bridge. No fumbling for your phone, no scanning a paper pass. The journey is seamless. This isn't science fiction. The foundational technologies for this already exist. Biometric boarding is already in use at dozens of U.S. airports. Advanced CT baggage scanners are being rolled out by the TSA right now. The true innovation here is the integration, weaving all these disparate systems into a single, cohesive, and intelligent network that manages the passenger journey from start to finish. DFW's experimental terminal aims to be the first in the world to put it all together. So what are the hurdles? The first and most obvious is the monumental cost. $4 billion for a single terminal is an astronomical sum. The consortium behind the project argues that the efficiency gains will be so massive that the investment will pay for itself. Faster processing means more flights per gate, more passenger foot traffic in retail areas, and drastically reduced staffing costs for both the airport and the airlines. But the question remains whether these efficiencies will translate into lower ticket prices for consumers or simply higher profits for the operators. The second and far more complex hurdle is privacy. A frictionless terminal runs on data, specifically your data, your face, your travel patterns, your purchasing habits within the terminal. To make this work, passengers would have to opt into a system that tracks their movement from the moment they step onto airport property. The consortium assures that all data is heavily encrypted and anonymized, used only to facilitate the journey and improve operational flow. But in an age of constant data breaches, the idea of a single entity holding that much personal information is, for many, a deeply unsettling prospect. It presents a fundamental trade-off. Are we willing to exchange our privacy for the promise of ultimate convenience? Finally, there's the challenge of security and regulation. The TSA would have to certify this entirely new method of screening. The system's AI would need to be virtually infallible, capable of detecting new and evolving threats with a level of accuracy that surpasses the current system. A single high-profile failure could set the entire concept back by a decade. The regulatory and testing process will be intense, and there is no guarantee of success. Yet, if this experiment in Dallas succeeds, it won't just change one terminal. It will become the new global standard. Just as the jet bridge replaced rolling staircases, the frictionless terminal could make our current airport experience seem archaic overnight. Airports in Atlanta, Los Angeles, and New York would be forced to compete, accelerating the adoption of this technology across the country, and then the world. It represents a paradigm shift in how we think about air travel, from a series of stressful queues and checkpoints to a single fluid movement. The future of travel innovation isn't just about getting from point A to point B faster. It's about fundamentally redesigning the experience, removing the friction and anxiety that we've come to associate with the journey. It's about giving us back the most valuable commodity we have, our time. While new planes will take us to our destinations quicker and new routes will open up the world, it might be the reinvention of the 2 hours we spend on the ground that truly changes everything. The question is, are we ready for it? Would you be willing to enroll in a fully biometric airport system, trading your data for a world with no lines? Is that seamless journey worth the price of your privacy? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. It's a debate we're all going to be having very soon. If you found this look into the future of travel as fascinating as I did, do us a favor and hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. We're always tracking the innovations that are about to change the way you see the world. Thanks for watching and travel smart.